Hi everybody. I know a lot of you haven't seen me in a very long time, but I figured I would get on here and tell everybody where I've been and what I've been up to, and tell you about my pursuit and finding of God. But actually, God found me, so He pursued me. But anyway, I just wanted to get on here and share my story because I thought, well, during all this corona craziness, maybe my story could, help somebody else. So, hello everybody that's joining. I hope you stay with me just to hear my testimony in my pursuit of God. I know a lot of you on here are probably like, what? Rylan Chaos found God? But yes, I did. So, and I want to share my story with you guys. So I'm just going to jump on into it because a lot of people, I don't know, don't like a lot of jabber. So I'm just going to go ahead and start. So back in July 2019, well, actually, let's start from the beginning. So I grew up in a very loving Christian home, and I went to church most of my life, and in the beginning I was very close to God, but then in my teen years I kind of strayed away because I felt more like a parasite to religion. Like, I had a lot of my own views, and I don't know, it was just like things I wanted to do. I felt really bad for doing them, and they weren't necessarily wrong, but religion made me feel like I was a really bad person. So I got away from religion. So when I was 18, I went out and did my own thing and, strayed away from the whole religious stuff. So, we'll fast forward to July 2019. So in July 2019, I went to get my hair done at a place called the Rose Room in Oxford, Ohio. And when I was there, the girl doing my hair, she was telling me some things that God was telling her about me. And the things that she was telling me was like really personal, things that she would have never known on her own. Nothing that she could have even found on Facebook or anything like that. Like, it had to have been a God thing, because it was only things that I had in my heart that nobody else would have known about. So like a lot of you know that my mom, she passed away, and I had some feelings in my heart that I was a disappointment to my mom, but I never like told anybody those feelings. I just kept them kind of buried deep down inside. And so she was able to tell me, those feelings that I had. And she's like, your mom says you're not a disappointment to her. And I'm like, what? Like, how in the world would you even know that? So, and then she told me a lot of other feelings that I had been having. And this was all stuff that God was telling her. Had to have been. There's no way she could have known. But at the time, I didn't think a whole lot about it. I was just like, wow, like, is she psychic? Or like, I didn't really know what to think. So I just like went on with my day and went home and didn't give it much thought. But this girl, like, she was super nice to me. Her name was Krista, and like, I felt like I found a new friend, regardless. So I stayed in contact with her, and I went to a couple other of her events. And then I went back to get my hair done a few months later. And, well, she invited me to some more of her things, and I ended up going. But anyways, she invited me to a Christmas party back in December 2019. And me and my husband were both going to go to this party, but the brake lines on the car broke, so he had to stay behind to fix the car. So I debated with myself whether I wanted to go or not because I'm not a big social person and I don't like going to places with a bunch of people that I don't know. So I literally fought with myself, like, for hours. Like, am I gonna go to this thing or not? Like, I want to go, but I don't want to go because I'm not gonna know anybody. Why should I even go? So finally, with some persuasion of my husband and my dad telling me I needed friends, who knew, right? Uh, I decided I was gonna go to this party. So I went to the party, but on my way to the party, I was like talking to myself slash God, and I was like, God, you probably hate me, don't you? I was like, here I am going to these like Christian type events, and I'm not a Christian, and I just feel like such a big old hypocrite. Like, why am I even going? And so I get to the party, and the party's all nice, but at the very end of the party, Krista starts praying for everybody. So she goes around the big circle and she's praying for everybody, and then she gets to me and she starts praying for me, and then she's like, God said it, he doesn't hate you. And I was like, what? Whoa, like, really? He says that? Because if you remember, in the car on my way there, I literally said, God, you probably hate me, don't you? Because I'm going to these Christian events and I'm not a Christian. And then I get there and she says, God says he doesn't hate you. Like, that was huge to me. Like, huge. Because then I was like, wow, maybe God is listening. So anyway, that was like a big moment for me. And so I was like, interested, like, maybe I should pay more attention. Well, then, as a lot of you know, some of you might not know, in December, my brother died. That's really hard for me to talk about. So, yeah. So my brother died in December. And the next day, Krista invited me to go get prayer at a place called the Vineyard. And it's somewhere in Ohio. I don't even really remember where in Ohio. But I was like, I literally had just woke up out of bed. Like, I hadn't had a shower or nothing. And, like, I wasn't going to have any time to get ready. But Krista asked me to go. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll go. And again, I fought with myself, like, probably 20 times. Like, should I go? Should I not go? I could use prayer maybe, but does it really even work? Like, I just had a lot in my head, and I was so upset about my brother. And so after fighting with myself over and over, I decided, okay, I'm going to go to the Vineyard. And in my head, I was only going to the Vineyard because I wanted to test God. Because if he had something to say to me, maybe he would say it at the Vineyard. This is what I thought. And so Krista, I met her in Oxford, and we drove to the Vineyard, and they put me in this room with 3 people, and these 3 people were going to pray for me. And so I really didn't have to tell them much because they seemed to know everything about me because God was telling them. But this one guy looks at me and he goes, God says you're here because you're testing him. I was. I was testing him. That was so true. I was like, what? God's really telling you this? So, yeah, that was another, like, wow moment for me. Like, okay, God, you must be listening because everything I'm saying, you're having Christians tell me. So that's a little whack. But anyways, I was like, wow, yeah, I did come here to test God to see if he was going to tell me anything. And also this guy was like, God's saying that you're a singer. There's no way you're a singer. Are you a singer? And sure enough, yeah, I'm a singer. So that was pretty crazy. But it was weird because that guy told me, he was like, God's saying that he wants you to sing, and he wants you to use your voice and the gift that he gave you. And it was funny because you all know I haven't been singing the last 3 years. Like, when I dropped Kissing in Graveyards, like, I haven't really done anything since then. And it's funny, the first time I met Krista at the salon, she told me that same thing too. She was like, God's telling me that you sing and that he wants you to use your voice. So I was like, yeah, that's pretty nuts. So anyways, on the way home from the vineyard that night, I was talking to God in my car, and I was like, you know what, God, like, I'm pretty stubborn. So, and you know that. And if there's something that you want me to do, like, you're going to have to tell me straight up, like, what it is you're wanting me to do, because I don't know. And I'm not a mind reader. But anyways, I was just telling God, like, yo, I'm stubborn, and I'm not just going to follow anybody who says they're a Christian and tells me this or that. Because, like I said, I grew up in a Christian home my whole life. Like, we were going to church almost every single day. So, it was like, I wasn't going to go back to that lifestyle unless, like, I really, really had some answers from God and, like, knew that he was there. Because before, I just felt like I don't know. It's a really hard thing for me to explain. But you almost feel like you're just worshiping something or someone that's really not even there, and you're just following what everybody else is doing. That's kind of how I felt as a child. Like, I was just doing it because everybody else was. So then when I became an adult, I just felt like, you know, God wasn't important. Like, I felt like he was never really there for me. It was just somebody that I was reading about, pretty much, and singing about, because I sang as a child too. Sorry. Gross. Don't touch your face. Corona. Anyway, sorry, I'm a dork. So on the way home, let's get back to the story. On the way home, I was telling God, you know, you're gonna have to show me something, because I ain't just gonna listen to everybody. So that night, I had a dream that my grandma came into my room, and she was looking for this book. And she was, like, insistent on finding this book. And I'm like, Grandma, you're not going to find that book in here. Like, that ain't in my room. No way. And she's like, yes, that book is in here. So I was like, okay, Grandma, if you insist on it, I'll help you look for this book. So I was looking for the book. And I was like, wow, Grandma, here it is. You're right. And I pulled it out and I read it. And it read, pray by faith. And then I instantly woke up. And then I laughed, because I was like, okay, God, I get you. You're not going to show me these big old signs and miracles. I have to have some faith. I was like, okay, you got me. You got me there. Finally, well, actually, at the vineyard, I forgot. I did give my life to God at the vineyard. Because I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I can't live the life that I've been living anymore. Like, it's just too hard. I can't do it on my own. And, so yeah. Crazy enough, every time that I've been praying to God this time around, and really, truly seeking God, I've been getting answers and signs and, like, totally crazy stuff. Like, totally crazy stuff. So I guess my whole main reason for getting on here was to tell you guys, like, God just wants to have a relationship with you. And I know there's, like, a bunch of religious mumbo jumbo crap out there that makes you feel like you have to be, like, this totally perfect person for God to love you. But that's not it at all. Like, you don't have to change who you are for God to love you. And you don't have to go on this huge mission to find God, because he's right there. He's right there just waiting with his arms wide open for you to accept him. I mean, I didn't even have to pursue God. He literally pursued me in a freaking hair salon. Of all places. So, and like he just kept telling, people of faith to tell me these things. And they were dead on. These are things that people would not have known about me or read about me or seen me post on Facebook. They're like, no way. Like, God was definitely telling them these things. So, if this world has you feeling like you're all alone and no one's for you and that you're gonna die alone and this corona is gonna kill you, like, if you need something else in your life, I'm saying, you know what? Take a chance and maybe just talk to God. Maybe just put down your phone and have a conversation. You don't even have to be Christian or saved to have a conversation with God. He'll do that part for you. But if you're feeling some sort of way, that's what I would do. Just put down my phone, go to a room, close yourself in the closet, the bathroom. Probably not the bathroom, it's not the cleanest place. Close yourself off to the world and then just like have a conversation. And I promise you, if you start having conversations with God, like, you're going to see some miracles. You're going to see some things happening that you never dreamed of. And I don't know, but you guys, a lot of you know me and know that I would never just say that, because I'm the person, like, I've went through so much junk and crap in my life. Like, I would never just say something and not believe it. And I would never just say something because everybody else is saying it. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying a lot. But I don't know. I just feel like I just needed to get on here and share my story, and maybe it will help somebody, maybe it won't. But I just know that every time that I have questions anymore, like, I just go to God and I'm like, hey, you know what's going on, but I don't. Maybe you can shed some light on this for me. Maybe you can help me to understand. And He's been faithful every single time. It's crazy. And so I just encourage you guys to do the same. Like, I don't know. Let's see. I had some stuff written down for you guys, but now my computer's like, hey, I'm going to sleep because you ain't talking to me, girl. Let's see if I can type one-handed here. Get back to what I was gonna tell you. Okay. So, here's some scripture for you. And this is all in, I'm just telling you guys this scripture, so maybe it'll, like, ease your minds with this, like, corona business. So Isaiah 43:1 says, "Don't fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine." That's really a pretty bold statement there. God actually commands us not to fear or worry. And the phrase "fear not" is actually, it's used at least 80 times in the Bible. Fear not. It's in there at least 80 times. Most likely because He knows the enemy uses fear to decrease our hope and limit our victories. We don't want to give our victories to the enemy. No. Don't fear this coronavirus. If you die and you're a child of God, you're not dying. You're still going to live. Still going to live. Ain't no corona going to take me out. Anyway, Deuteronomy 31:8 says, He will never leave nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Don't do it, y'all. And anyways, Matthew 11:28 says, Then Jesus said, Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. And you know what? That's what I've been doing lately. When I feel heavy burdened, I literally just put down whatever I'm doing anymore and just pick up my Bible and start reading and talking to God. And He gives me answers. And that's no lie. I know like a lot of you are probably watching this and you're like, yo, I know Christians. They're always saying, pray for this, pray for that. Oh my gosh. My family is huge on that. And I'm not putting them down in any way. But anytime I've ever had a problem, they were like, did you pray? Did you pray for that? And me, being a non-Christian, for the longest time, like every time I heard that, I was like, oh, gosh, did I pray for that? No, I did not pray for that. Prayer does not work. But that was a lie. That was a lie from the enemy. Because let me tell you, lately when I have prayed and I have truly sat down and prayed and asked God for help and guidance and wisdom to open my eyes and my ears so I could hear Him and what He wants for me, I've gotten my answers. I've seen things differently, heard them differently. I've seen signs and wonders in some crazy stuff. And y'all probably think, Rylan Chaos done gone mad. She done gone crazy on us. And I have, in a way. I've gone crazy for Jesus. I know. It sounds nuts. But I promise you guys, I'm not leading you crazy. Not leading you astray. I'm telling you the truth of everything that I've witnessed since July 2019. Because I honestly thought that God did not love me. I honestly thought that I was unlovable for the longest time. But God showed me that I am not forgotten. Every time that I said that I was not loved, God told me that I was, and that I was enough, and that I was beautiful, and that I was His princess, and that I could lean on Him and He would be there. And I am telling you, He has been there for me. Unlike anybody in this world has been here for me. God has been here for me. And I know y'all think I'm nuts. Because I looked at Christians before and I thought, wow, y'all are nuts. But I didn't know. The funny thing is, I didn't know that God wanted a relationship with me. He didn't want me to just follow all these rules and follow everybody and what they were doing. He just wants to talk to me. He wants time with me. He wants me to put all of my worries at His feet, and He will take care of them for me. And He'll do the same for you if you just give Him the chance. All you gotta do is talk to Him. Like I said, you don't even have to change who you are. You don't have to change your appearance. You don't have to, I'm trying to think of some words because I'm at a loss right here. Because this is something new for me. Like, I don't get online and just talk to people and tell them this and that. Thank you, Donald. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you, Donald. I really appreciate that. God's definitely working on me, let me tell you. I'm still not perfect. I'm definitely not perfect by any means. I fall. I fall on my face a lot. But I am trying.
And I'm trying to be bold and share my testimony, which I don't do this stuff. I don't get online. I don't talk to people. I'm not good at talking to people. But I know this is what God wants me to do, because if he can change my heart, which was a very cold and broken heart, if he can change my heart, he can change yours too. People say they have to be this certain way. If any of you actually listen to my music on Kissing in Graveyards, you would know how cold and broken my heart was and against God, because almost all of my music, you could tell, like, I was a broken person. I was messed up. I hated God. You know, I thought that he was the reason my life was so crappy. I thought he was the one who took my mom from me. I thought he was the one who took my grandpa from me, who was like a father. I thought he was the one who made my biological father not love me. Like, I had so many problems. I thought he was the one all my relationships failed because I was such a crappy person. It wasn't him. It wasn't him at all. To be honest, he was probably right there with me holding my hand even when I was cursing his name. Because he will not forsake you. He won't. So when I get on here and tell you my testimony and I pour out my heart to you, it's not because I'm some crazy wild Christian trying to drive you to love God and do the best and, you know, push my beliefs on you. Because I know a lot of people who are following me are not believers, and they are far from it. It's not that I'm trying to push someone or something on you. It's that I'm telling you, just open up your heart for just a minute. Just a minute. Give him just a chance. And I guarantee you, if you just give God a chance and actually talk to him with an open mind and an open heart, you're going to see a difference. You're going to see a difference in your life. I can promise you that. And I promise if you really seek him, you will find him. And you'll find a lot more than you were expecting. I can promise you that. Because I wasn't even looking for God. I didn't even think for 2 seconds that I wanted God anymore. I was so over religion. Because a lot of people claim to love God and they don't really know God. And they'll push you away more than bring you to him, because they'll make you feel like really crappy about who you are. But God doesn't care. He loves you just the way you are. So I don't know. I think that's all I have to say. I hope I didn't scare a lot of you away with my craziness. But I do love you guys, and that's the only reason why I'm on here sharing my testimony. Because I love you. And I know I haven't been on here in a really long time. But I've been focusing on my new family, my little baby girls, my little boys, and just trying to focus on them. That's why I've been gone for so long, but I've also been focusing on me and, you know, making my life better. So, do I want to sing again? Yes, I most definitely want to sing again, and I plan to sing again as soon as I can get a band together that wants to do different music than I was doing before. Well, sort of. That's a long story. A story we'll talk about later. But if anybody's interested in doing music in the Oxford, Ohio area, feel free to contact me, because I do want to sing again, but I just need to form a band, and right now that's kind of impossible. Well, actually, it's not impossible, but it's been a difficult thing for me to get a band together in Oxford. I don't know why. You would think in a college town a lot of people would be wanting to jam, but that's not the case. Not the case. Anyway, thank you, Amanda, for your comment. That's very sweet of you. Yes, Lisa, I definitely was believing a lie. Yeah. Well, I'm going to get off here, and you guys feel free to share this video. Maybe it will help someone that has been wondering if God is real or not. And you know, if anybody wants prayer or anything, or even just to talk about God, you know, I will answer your questions to the best that I can. Now, I've only been I don't know how you would say it, practicing my faith or whatever since like January. So, you know, I'm not really well versed on all the scriptures and all that, but I will certainly try to help you look up things or direct you to somebody who can help you, or I'm willing to even pray with you. So, oh, I've been doing this with my cousin. Well, I did it once with my cousin. I've done it with some other people, but it's called a soaking session, and that is where I can meet you at your house, or you can come to my house, whatever. We can put on some like worship music and just lay there and, you know, talk to God, listen to what He's telling us. We can pray and just, you know, invite the Holy Spirit in to do whatever. I think it's really cool. You get some words, and I feel really better. I feel better, I should say, afterwards. So if anybody's interested in even doing that, just let me know, and I'll be willing to come do that with you and pray with you, and you know, just bring some happiness and love into this crazy, chaotic world that we're living in. So you guys keep your faith strong, keep your love even stronger, make sure you're demonstrating that to the people around you, because we all really need that in today's world. We just need to spread the love and let our neighbors and friends know that they are loved all the time. And yeah, just be friendly. But I love you guys, and I thank you for watching, and if you need anything, just let me know. I'm here for you. Bye, guys.